In this session, we're going to discuss how to properly measure for a number of Sierra Pacific replacement products, most notably the sash replacement kit for double hungs, the H3 insert, as well as the H3 pocket style window. And while each of these has some similarities in their measuring requirements, there are some subtle differences that need to be known in order to order them properly. As with any product that is going into an existing window frame, we need to check on the condition of a number of things. So first off, we want to be sure that the condition of the existing window is solid and in good order. It doesn't have any deterioration or rotting, particularly to the sill members, nor does it have any rotting that might be going up the side jambs either. Secondly, we want to be sure that the window frame that we're going into is reasonably square. And we can check that with a tape measure, basically by going from corner to corner in each direction at the same location to determine the squareness of that unit. We want to be within about 1/8 of an inch tolerance, particularly for the sash replacement kit. We can be a little outside of that if we're installing an insert window or a pocket style window, because we're installing a frame within a frame and we can make some necessary adjustments trimming it out. But unfortunately, with a sash replacement kit, squareness is a critical issue and is something that we need to pay attention to. Thirdly, we want to check the depth of the sash pocket. Our jam liner is designed to fit into a 3 1/4 inch pocket area, and so in order to properly install that, we want to be sure that the depth of this is 3 1/4 inches. If it's less than 3 1/4 inches, it could be a problem for our jam liner, and it could cause twisting or bowing of the jam liner, which will cause sash operation problems. Lastly, while we're doing that, we can always check the pitch of the sill. Now that's required as part of the measuring and ordering process, but with a pitch meter we can check this out and determine what the slope of the sill is. And the reason for that is because the bottom of our jam liner for the sash kit is cut at an angle, and we can identify what that angle is at the time of ordering. Therefore, what will happen is the factory will cut that angle to the proper pitch and give us a nice fit when the product is installed. In order to measure for the sash replacement kit, we want to measure to the sash pocket. So in order to do that, we need to raise the lower sash. If we have the sash pocket exposed and we can see the wood, then that makes it easier for us, because we can measure the width by measuring from pocket to pocket on the other side. And we should measure in 3 locations: one at the bottom, one near the middle, and one near the top. If for some reason we don't have access to the sash pocket, that presents a little different issue. If there's a vinyl tilt jam style jam liner in here, or there's a metal tracking system in here, we may need to get behind that. So there are a couple of options for doing that. One is to obviously remove the existing balance system along with the existing sash to gain access to that, which we would prefer not to do. The other is to take, say, a business card or an index card. And if there's a sash in place here or a balance system, we need to get behind that so we can tuck our business card or index card between the interior piece of wood here, or what we'll call the stop or extension, and tuck it back behind that balance system till we hit the wood. And once we're there, we can actually take a pencil and we can then mark that line right along the edge of the wood, and then measure between the wood and add the dimension that we had on either side, making sure we add both sides, and that can give us our sash opening as well. The last method, which is probably not totally recommended, but can be done. Oftentimes the width and the height can be gained from the exterior by measuring between the brick mold, because in many cases the brick mold is aligned with the sash pocket on a lot of your common window designs. And so that might help at least determine approximate size for pricing purposes, but for ordering purposes you may want to be more specific. But you can measure between the brick mold and across the blind stop here in both the width and the height. And the height, you'll have to get the tape measure to drop to that dust, what we call the dust line. For the height, we're going to measure from the same head pocket down to the point on the sill in which the lower sash meets the sill. So in this case, it's what I referred to as the dust line, and it's this point right here where the face of the lower sash is at the sill. And we call it the dust line because at this point, if there's weather stripping under that sash, the dust stops at that point right there, and so you often see a mark or a line running across there, which is a good indication of where your measuring point should be. And then lastly, we want to get that sill pitch I mentioned. So checking our sash pocket depth and then getting our sash, the pitch to the sill. And those are the key elements to provide in order to get a proper sizing to the sash kit. Sash replacement kits are ordered by those dimensions you measured. You do not have to make reductions in it or adjust its size at all. You cannot measure the existing sash. Please don't provide that dimension. So oftentimes we see orders come through where the sash was measured and then someone orders sash kit based on the sash size. That does not allow you to have the window properly made because we don't know what kind of balance system is here or where that sash fits. We only know where ours does. So sash opening width, measure 3 places. Sash opening height, measure 2 places. The height is from the pocket to the dust line. And then provide the pitch of the sill so we can cut the jamb liner sill angle correctly. Now, for the H3 insert window, once again, we need the sash opening width at the back to the wood in the sash pocket. Same measuring that I basically had done for the width for the sash kit. The difference is in the height. And so the height in this case is measured from the sash pocket to the high point of the sill. So I'm going to measure back here for the insert window. Now, once I have that dimension, then I'm going to reduce it accordingly because the insert window is ordered by exact size, not by sash opening. So you will have to provide the exact size of the insert window that you want. In most cases, what happens is that the width is reduced by 1/4 inch either side and 1/4 inch in the height at the top only, because the insert window does set directly down on the sill. I don't have to make a height adjustment for that. The exception to that height measurement is if the installer chooses to use that sill angle block for the installation. And if they choose to use the sill angle block for the installation, then the height would have to be reduced by an additional 1/4 inch because the sill angle block back at the point is 1/4 inch. It does not go to 0. And so the easy way to do that is if you're using the block, it's 1/2 inch on the width and 1/2 inch on the height for reduction. For the pocket style window, once again, the measurement is for the sash pocket on the width and the sash pocket height down to the high point of the sill. In this particular case, for the pocket style window, we will once again need to have the sash opening dimensions. Because the window is designed with a fin on it, and this fin, this leg here, as well as the interior stop are at the same dimension, and the window frame is actually here. So we will need to know what the sash opening is in order for that window to be made correctly. And that completes the measuring of Sierra Pacific's Transcend replacement window products.